Oh, this is really weird. Yeah, yeah, brought Vulture. Yeah, I was just trying to make sure that the stream was actually working because this is brand new crap for me. Not playing the game, but just doing a. Ugh. All right, well, we know that the audio works too. I thought you were going to turn into a political debate using. Oh, I had no intention of doing that. Besides, I was kind of getting a little fatigued from the political stuff just because there was such a, I guess, lack of I won't say support, but just people didn't really watch the last thing I put out. So I was like, oh well, let me just do something different for today. Get out the way. I remember that partial always being so difficult for me to figure out because that old man is sitting up there on the road. Not really, but I mean, I wanted to get around to doing this anyway, just because I hadn't had Google Hangout before a few days ago, as far as being able to link it up to YouTube. But I just figured, well, no one really watched that last thing, so let me just try something again different from what I usually do. Jesus Christ, so much dialogue. Ugh. So the reason why I clicked. All right, I understand. I'm not allowed to ever do anything different. I mean, you should already know I'm in all kind of things. I used to do super reviews for Dragon Ball, and I just kind of stopped because, like, well, there are already people who kind of are more known for this. So let me just put it in the back burner. I think you asked, but I think most of it is having a schedule so people know when to come. Well, that's the thing, Raw Vulture. I don't like my problem with my inhabitants is that there's always someone around who can likely derail that schedule. You'll hear stuff in the background, noises that are just usually out of my control. So that's why it's for the most part and on the just whenever I'm available kind of thing. Of oh look, let me just start streaming and somebody can watch it later. Oh no. People didn't come on time. Well, that's the whole point of doing a stream. That when if people aren't in there at that point, you can go and leave it up, and then they can watch it afterward. And move. I already know how to catch. I just caught three. I don't need your tutorial. Go away. Only one of those tutorial people I actually like is the one from Gold and Silver, just because they gave him the most generic name ever. The dude, or but I mean the other ones, the old man over there, his name is kind of generic as well. But just you knew they ran out of ideas. Oh well, I mean that could still be a topic that could be discussed. I just don't, you know, usually because I think you've seen in other streams where it's on one topic and they just bring something else up. Well, if you don't know too much about it, you're watching me play. That's the whole point of seeing somebody else do it first. That's why the guy did a little stupid tutorial where he showed me how to catch, even though I already caught three at that point. Crazy. I couldn't have gotten to you talk about there's a need to schedule an equal ground of knowledge. Well, I see a lot of my stuff as me explaining things because I assume that other people likely, they might know something I don't know, and I might know something they don't know, and it's just kind of basically you're not looked down upon for having a question about whatever. I'd rather you question it than just go, oh well, I see this title, so I'm kind of tired of it, bleh, and then not bother. You can tell Raw Vulture's just bored out of his mind. He's like, yeah, like I came here for something else. I don't think I said hello to Envoy and give him a greeting. Oh, there Dirk is at last. Oh, I'm now more religious. Dirk finally came back. He's been enjoying a whole month over there in DC with his new congresswoman girlfriend. I was so concerned about him. I actually haven't gotten around to seeing that film. I'm still surprised that even actually got made. Just because every time the US tries to get involved with adapting anything from Japan, it always seems to tank. That Street Fighter movie was regarded as terrible. That Evolution or whatever, that Dragon Ball film, I know was anyone who liked that was just universal panning. It was hilarious. You do explain things well, but even if you understand what you say, supply. Oh, well, that's kind of one of the good things about Hangout. I can actually show you in a lot of instances what I'm talking about. The only thing I want to test out is if there's a video. Like if I try to play a video, I want to make sure that the audio for that is in sync with my own volume. Death Note, Netflix too. Yeah, all of these different Americanized adaptations of Japanese stuff seem to just always go to crap. I always love when I think about Toriyama's, the creator of Dragon Ball, his comments about evolution, and he tried to say, "Oh, I gave them tips and they didn't listen." And like, yeah, but I mean, you still okay that the worst is. Oh yeah, that film was just hideous. I just like it's funny. The only person I ever saw that said that wasn't such a bad movie literally knew nothing about the series at all. Like hadn't seen a single episode ever. So the fact that anyone who actually watched it, the people they should try to appeal to, kind of said, yeah, this is not what we wanted at all, is very telling. I could take out that first gym at this point. Just hate having to automatically catch 20 things so I can get the Flash HM. Because there's that one cave where the game's like, oh, you must go through here to get to the next city. And that chat is bored. You guys are just yeah. I'm just thinking of Raw Vulture when he saw the cover or the title or whatever, just like ripping his hair out of his head. He couldn't believe it. Unless you hack. So the reason they always put out two versions is because there's some that you can get in one game and some you can't get in the other one. And in some cases, one you can't even get in either game. But they do that so to incentivize people to trade. But if you hack it, you can get anyone you want at any time. Well, you still have to catch them, but you get the point. It just depends on its availability and how what exactly it is. It's really just a matter of the thing versus just the overall content that explains anything. I don't play most, but there are some I like. I was actually going to do a different stream on this ROM hack that somebody made because me and the creator interacted with each other. I'll probably do that maybe during the weekend, possibly Friday, possibly tomorrow. Who knows? Oh, which ROM hack, or is that what you're asking, Kirk? Clarification. Oh, it's called Flare, where you basically play the game backwards. So like you start with the seventh gym and then you go all the way. I think the only one that stays in the order that it was in this game is the eighth one. And he had like the guy who made it added a whole new subplot where all the legendary birds, so like Zapdos, Articuno, Moltres, they're all trying to be used by Team Rocket. I really like it. He put because I tried to what I usually do if I'm thinking about showing off something is play it the whole thing through beforehand. It had a story that surprised me in some instances. So he did something pretty original. Did you play because it symbolizes your ideology and how you want to catch how under your rule? No, it's just something. It's just a game or a franchise. I'm much more comfortable with than others because I just think I have more experience with it. I'm all under my tyranny, huh? Yeah, Raw Vulture is trolling me. Just spitballing since he left. But yeah, but I mean, if I was you asked a question earlier and I was willing to answer that. It didn't have anything to do with the political stuff. And I think I'm fairly flexible when it comes to a lot of these topics or ideas. Ugh, poison. An obnoxious thing. So, and the other thing that I don't like about the about Google Hangouts is that for whatever strange reason it won't let me see the chat messages on Hangouts itself. I have to use my phone. That's what trolls do, Raw Vulture. They also don't show their face. So, I mean, we know what Dirk looks like. We saw him, type in AOC's boyfriend and you'll get his picture. Yeah, yeah, I remember. It's really weird. Like the fact that the franchise was 20 years old at that point and had been more successful in the past, because Generation One and Two are generally considered the pinnacle of its popularity. And then she just now got around to making a reference about it politically 3 years ago. That's what was so amusing about this. Like it literally is Johnny Come Lately. Oh man, it just sucks that Go got so popular because it literally meant we had to suffer through that line. Who wants to hear you try to impress people by taking a name of a franchise and sticking it to your own agenda? Get out of here. It doesn't assume everyone is a troll unless you see their face. Uh, oh yeah, Envoy. The only reason I don't I'd probably say it's either one or two. I definitely would consider playing gold or silver on here because they are very entertaining. The hip young voters. But that's my point that the franchise at that point wasn't hip. It had been 20 years, and its most popular era was for what, the first two, three, four, somewhere around like 2002, 2003. That's when it went into the dark ages of Ruby and Sapphire, and then everybody kind of just went over and got into other things. So to have her just now or just a few years ago try to make that joke when Go comes out and people suddenly remember that this exists again, it's really amusing. Kirk is another one of the hip young voters. That's why he lives in NY 14. It's sad that someone will actually think that's me telling where he really lives. Like they won't understand that running joke. Like Envoy's ex-wife. And that's why they divorced. Envoy's wife liked Gen 4 the most. And then Envoy was like, well, they have the Generation 2 remake, but I personally prefer the original game. And it's like, yeah, we can't we can't deal with this anymore. Hip young voters. Jesus Christ. Should be good enough. I just want to. I'm thinking of Mount Moon and then all the little shenanigans that happened over there or that go on over there. All these rocket grunts. Everybody's so silent. We know why brought Vulture sound. He went to sleep. I don't want to watch you play. I'm taking a nap. I'm starting to think the chat got that you're probably watching that Cohen thing. The house 30 where you get interrogated by like 50 people because someone thought that was a good way to arrange government. This is good. I'm going in there. It's just the gym is just going to be Squirtle just smashing everything in there. So God, we're going to lose. He's sending an Onyx. Ah! We survived. I can't believe it. It's going back and forth. Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt your studies, Dirk. I apologize. I wish you hadn't have told me that because now it's weighing heavily on my conscience. If you say so, I just a lot of times whenever I have the chat, I usually try to come up with something to say. But since it's just me, it's like, well, let me focus on the game because I don't want to screw up and have somebody go, haha, you got beat. This is Google Hangout. That's how you're able to see it. I'm screen sharing it. Oh, that's Bro Vulture trolling again. That's why. He knew it was Google Hangout. I just wanted to hear me say it. I'm gonna trip you up by pretending I don't know what's going on. Doesn't everyone do it like multiple screens of music and talking to someone? I don't know, Bro Vulture. You might say something very insulting. You might mock me. That rat hits like a truck. Wow. I mean, what would happen if you came on? What would you say? Have you prepared the transcript of your statements or planned remarks? Are you willing to present them? I'm not opposed to the idea. It's just it depends. Like right now, we're doing something, but a lot of times it's usually me just thinking the person's gonna say something I'm not entirely behind. Like how that one time I had my best friend do a video or a stream with me. It was back in June, and he swore during it. Took me by surprise because I usually try not to have my stuff act that way, or otherwise have something like that, be said or stated. Oh no, I hate that so much. That little stupid attraction. I think got completely vaporized. Just so happy to see Dirk again. I was starting to think he had left forever. Those radical centrists that kidnapped him. That's what happened. Let me get that moonstone. I always forget to get it. Jesus. I thought it was really fascinating how excited people get to see someone else play a game. Like, man, I ran out of commentary a long time ago. And I guess usually when the chat is in full swing and you have this group of people just kind of talking about whatever's on screen, you can get some kind of back and forth going that takes up the space of no audio otherwise. Because I really in a lot of instances try to do many things at the same time or just concurrently. Things I always forget about this cave is where exactly is the room to go into where you can exit from here. I think it might be this one. Let me look on that side. Yeah, it is. Oh, that thing. Always land a critical hit. That's crazy. It's insane. The type disadvantage. I care nothing about these fossils. They're just a hindrance. Oh, pretty much everything I have is on the brink of passing out. It's crazy. See if we can catch this. All right, good. Yeah, are you going to finish the whole game? It depends on if you want to see this. Because I wanted to go to up until at least the second gym before calling it a quits today. I'd rather just have some like big, huge. I don't want to call it a speed run where it's like every time I do a stream for it, you see me get two badges, like a fourth each time. These am I going to use? Uh, get the moonstone. Yeah, we already got one. So we're closer to being through than you might think we are. It's funny how half of the team I currently have evolved from the Moonstone, so I actually have to make a choice if I want Nidoqueen or Wigglytuff. I'll probably just get Nidoqueen. Oh, Bulbasaur. I always usually would get him. Only reason I even get Charmander is just for Charizard, because that's the only one of the evolved forms I actually care the slightest amount about. That's why, as you've noticed, even though Squirtle can evolve in the Wartortle, I won't let it. Fable hits like a truck. Probably could take the rival down at this point. I just know his starter is level 18, Pidgey is level 14. I'll train that instead. Wait until you see the really dumb tactic I have for winning against the second gym. There's like this thing I'll do where if I have something with a type advantage, I'll let it keep losing until like if and the person has multiple members of their party, I'll let it keep losing to whatever is the strongest or the last one or whatever until it gets enough EXP to where it doesn't matter anymore. So we can just kind of put up with it. See what I mean when I go in there? I always love Lieutenant Surge's gym because it has the electric type gym next to the little cave of ground types. It's wonderful. No, Pidgey went down. What am I supposed to do? Man, I had no idea Envoy knew anything about this franchise. That's what I'm saying. I like being able to do something that's not usually what is done here. I had no idea. Pidgey's almost there. Oh, too bad. Come on, keep smacking that thing. Ah, we got it. I will support your channel going to leave so you can have more views. Uh, are you against that idea? I don't really know what that means. Wait, I'm kind of sitting here dazed and confused. You said you're going to, so you can. What does that mean? Stop trolling me. I don't understand. Always trying to trip me up. That's raw vulture style. That's the BV. There we go. Can we challenge this freak? Let's find out. Idea that I'm not watching the shows I'm viewing. Oh, well, yeah. It's crazy. Go away. Fame checker. When did Raw Vulture become a moderator? I don't recall making him one. I don't remember. Ugh. Nice to see you walking. Oh, Mod Vulture. That's his new nickname. You know, the guy who there's another ROM hack I really like. It's called Ash Gray, and in it, the guy basically turned the whole first season of the show into a game. What's really great about it is you actually like his name is Metapod, like that's part of his username. That's why Envoy's comment is so amusing. It's probably my favorite out of the ones I've actually been able to play the whole thing through. It's probably my favorite one. Just go back and play for fun. Yeah, I might do a let's play of that. Trying to bulk Pikachu up for his upcoming showdown with Missy. I might just say screw it to one up this ridge and just go over there and do it. Does it have anything I can actually hit it with? No. That would come in real handy against fighting is not good against never mind, that's not typing right there. Pidgeotto. But yeah, it was really easy to use walking. Yeah, bro Vulture's gonna abuse his powers. Let me show you my cheap tactic. Let me show how lazy I am. Absolutely not. This is the mascot. Oh, boy, that's crazy. Why would I do something like that? What kind of a person do you take me for? Would never do such a thing. I'm trying to remember. I think it's like it's Pikachu, it's Bulbasaur, it's Squirtle, it's Bayleaf, it's Cyndaquil. It's like basically those are the only ones I just more often than not will not evolve. So the only one of the Kanto starters I ever evolved is Charmander, just because Charizard is so. I mean, that's the only reason it even evolved in the show because how popular it was. People don't want to realize that. But I was surprised, and I actually didn't get any experience for that. Wow. quickest, easiest, most effective way to get experience. And I know it got a little tiring watching me just go back in the grass over and over. There we go. Ah, yeah. That was the whole reason. I knew that eventually, if you just keep returning and you get the little boost from whatever the first one was Starmie, it would take out the other one eventually. Yeah, but that's the point. You die over and over, but you get a little bit. It's like a saying. They don't near the brink of death. They get a little stronger. They get stronger. Any reason for picking Hitmonlee or what? One of your favorites is one of your ideal ones. I think I mentioned that usually if I'm playing one of these, I'll generally hack to get whatever I want. And this is like the only game in the whole first four gens that I just can never hack for some reason. Like the codes I use never work. See what I'm talking about. If I play any other ones, it'll show. Yeah, Machamp has the same problem for me that Gengar does, where you have to trade to evolve, and then except it actually is available in this, but I have to get something that I don't think is available until much later in the game. Like one of the reasons I really like the Nidoran line, whether it's Nido King or Nido Queen, is the fact that you can literally have a fully evolved Pokemon after having just one badge. Like nothing else is that way. Yeah, but I'm saying that none of the mods I use for this particular game ever work. I mean, I've tried to find mod codes and searched far and wide. I mean, the people who designed this game knew the mods would work, and they had to find the power inside. Almost there. Ah, hate Abra. Either 15 or 16 is one of those two. Hate those Weedles. I always really liked the design of Beedrill, but the problem is it never. I just never catch when there's always something else that the team usually gets stacked up. It's like right now, I have to take off two members of this, for Vulpix and what was the other one? For and Bellsprout. So I can have a grass and fire type. Yeah, the cave that no one can get in unless they beat the whole. I always hated that so much that all the other legendaries you can get before the league, and then with Mewtwo, it's just well, we know people really like that, but if you were thinking of having it on your team so you can, play the game and actually have a lot more fun, we got you. And they always say that the legendaries make things easy, but my problem with that philosophy is that if that were the case, why did you? Or one of the things I love the most. Oh yeah, it's good. But like I was saying, one of what I don't get is if that made it so easy, why did you even have the introduction of these other types in the first place? Because they would say that Mewtwo was basically invincible during Gen 1, and they introduced the other typings to sort of compensate for it. Any, miny, miny, mo, catch the tiger by the toe. If he's hollering, let him go. Any, miny, miny, mo. Uh, I guess maybe it's just in this version with LeafGreen, they have different ratios for your encounter rate. So, for example, I would encounter. I think I have like a 1% chance of encountering neither. Ugh, what's the Nidoran male version is lower encounter rate in this than the female version. Clefable. What's wrong with having a little defense? Yeah, that was my mistake. Competitive play. Get Spear. Oh my god. I didn't say it didn't, Envoy. I was just kind of. I don't know. I've generally avoided competitive play in a lot of instances, or just doing it, outside of a regular walkthrough. That's why that was. I just kind of copied. I was like, oh, that's funny. Can't believe Dirk is so diverse. I had no idea that he also liked franchise. On the back of my head stood up when I read his comment. Never-ending shock will always stay with me. Let me see what's the typing on this again. I forgot. Oh yeah. Oh, that's why I get one of these because it's really good against the third gen and Blaine as well. I don't know why I didn't call Lieutenant Surge Lieutenant Surge. That's my mistake. Keep walking back and forth. Enjoy that. Yeah, I did. I knew there was more to you than meets the eye. Still trying to figure out how Raw Vulture became an admin. That makes no administrator, or rather a mod rather. Some kind of dire circumstance must have happened for that to even be an occurrence. I should fight this person. Attack always, it's such a good attack, and then it always misses whenever I use it. Fast. Oh, I woke up. No. Bed Pidgey. Bye bye, Pidgey. I'm wondering myself. I think Brawl Vulture must have curried favor with YouTube. Hey, that's a Fable, and I have a Clefable. Oh, sir. See my collection. Receive the SSS ticket. Invite me to the party. Why don't you go on? Let's have a good time. You know, what really sucks. I really like Eevee. Its base form and then most of its evolutions, and I have no use for it here because I already have Squirtle, so I don't need Vaporeon. I already have Pikachu, so I don't need Jolteon. I'm gonna get Vulpix, so I don't need Flareon. And then Espeon and Umbreon are unavailable. Like there's no way to evolve it into that, which I think is insane. I think the only way you can actually get one legitimately between Kanto remakes and the Hoenn games is it's one the name of the one game. Not, I think it was Coliseum. It's some console game is the way you get them. So that was really strange. It's a bad. I made a mistake here. Ah, Titan type. Oh no, retreat. That's good anyway. That's my that's Squirtle's worst attack. Pick up. No. Our Vulture's like, I just woke up one day and suddenly I was an admin. I was a moderator. I had these enumerated powers. Um, maybe four. But again, that's because so when I say that, I don't mean Sinnoh. I mean that it has both Sinnoh, which I think is all right, and then Johto as well, which I think is the best. Gen 2 is still probably my favorite game outside of maybe Yellow, but Yellow only because you get all the starters and that. Like that's probably the one that you have the closest chance of actually catching them all in. Oh, good, the daycare guys here. I can leave Jigglypuff in there. And see it in a while. Yeah, I'll make sure to do that. I feel like Ash told Pidgeot that he would come back for him after the Orange Islands. That was really good. The north part in the place where Suicune appears in gold and silver. Oh yeah, I remember. What's going on here? Stream is acting up. Yeah, it's really weird too, because I remember thinking it was a step up in terms of just pretty much everything from Gen 3. Like, Gen 3 is the one I basically started with, and I always hated the removal of the aspect of time. So to have that come back was great. Yeah, they crap on their stuff so much. Their attitude toward Gen 4 reminds me of the Dragon Ball fans' attitude toward GT. Way better than catch small using small. I'm confused. That moderator humor must be exclusive to moderator. Oh man, this is you've been trolling really hard today. I'll give you credit. On, get that thing. Ugh, there we go. Pidgey. All these Pidgeys. Still trying to see if I have 20 yet. I need to have that so I can get that. Was it 20 or 10? I think it might have been 10. I'm not sure. I'll find out when I go in that cave. Hold on a second. Unmute. Here we go. Okay. Got a call. I was trying to film the buzz off for the moment. I said that in a much kinder way, I promise. Okay, let's get our little cells on this one here. Skip all the little trainer battles. And get ready for our confrontation with our rival. Eradicates pure vermin. Well, they're all the normal types have their good points and bad points. What I've seen, they're a lot more hated on than I just always love the story about Blues Eradicate. Oh, I should eat. Yeah, like we're scared of you. Every time I use sleep powder, it never works. And then whenever somebody else uses it, there we go. Ugh, good. We can't use fighting type moves. Electric doesn't. Wow, that would. It really took away the only person who has a type advantage over it. I'd actually lose this. Wow. Oh no, no, no. Oh god. You gotta withdraw Fable right now. Leech Seed is not a joke. Wonder if we get new. I hope all the starters that didn't get one get one. So like how Gen 2 still doesn't have one. Gen 4, I believe, doesn't have one. Should hurry it up. What are they sending out? Uh, oh, wrong one. There we go. Abra. Fight this thing. Oh, there we go. Said a lot. There we go. There we go. There we go. Thanks, but no thanks. Bye bye. Dreaded HM moves. Oh, where did he go? I feel the same, but can name a lot of the newer, but have a working knowledge of the older ones after Gen. No, what ended up happening was that I couldn't see your comments as they were being made because I was again the Google Hangouts doesn't record the stuff or it doesn't put it up there. Why am I not evolving? So I told you it's one of the few that I do not I prefer its first form to the other ones. I said that before. It's like you don't even listen to me. Bad. Good Queen is smashing them. Oh man. Until it learned Earthquake, that's gonna be the end of everybody. No chance. Over here. Ah, I always hated this. Go in here and then you have to dig in the trash. Hold on a second. All right, sorry about that. That was another person who contacted me. As far as Raw Vulture's question is concerned, I probably wouldn't because I don't see where it's one of those things where I just usually will say whatever topic I'm thinking about. There we go. Now we can go in here and finally we can fight Surge. Trash bin. We got it. Oh, that was a curve stomp match. And the saddest thing is nobody's gonna see that because people I mean, hey, that's the way they are. So, that's 3 badges in what, an hour? A little over an hour. So now that we have one individual watching, I guess I'll end it. We'll get back to another day. So thank you for participating. Uh, have a good day.